Hey, what's up, guys? Explanation Pro is here. Today I'll show you a horror romance film, Life After Beth. Spoiler ahead, watch out, and take care. In the beginning of the movie we see a girl named Beth. She has gone for hiking on her own. Now we see Jack, her boyfriend, who has come to Beth's house at her funeral. This means Beth is dead. He loves her a lot and nowadays he always thinks of her. He is very depressed, so he decides to go and meet her parents. After reaching there he sees the maid Pearline is leaving the house and Maury is trying to stop her but she left. Maury then welcomes Jack inside. They both starts to talk about Beth and Jack says that for the last few days their relation was not going so good. They start playing chess but he can't focus on it as well. He decides to leave. Before leaving, he meets Beth's mom and she gives him Beth's scarf. He starts wearing the scarf. From that day onwards he starts going to her house regularly and spends time with them. But his parents are not happy with this as he is thinking about Beth way too much. One day he goes to Beth's house and he hears some noise coming from inside. He presses the calling bell and asks Beth's parents to open the door but no one did. He gets worried and peeks through the window. There he sees Beth inside the house. He becomes shocked and he starts banging the door to open it. Just then Jack's brother Kyle comes there, who is a security officer. He tells his brother that he saw Beth inside the house and she is alive. But Kyle doesn't believe him. He thinks that as he can't forget her so he is making it up. Then Kyle calls Maury and knocks the door but Maury answers him without opening the door and tells him that everything is fine. Jack requests Kyle to check inside the house but he doesn't listen to him and advises him to leave. One night Jack breaks into Beth's house as he wants to know what's going on there. Maury sees him and tells him to leave. He doesn't listen to him and pushes him. He then goes inside the house and sees Beth's mom, Jeannie, who is trying to hide Beth under the closet. He becomes very shocked seeing Beth there and couldn't understand what are Beth's parents doing with her. He asks Beth how is this possible, but it seems like she doesn't even know anything about her death. He asks Maury about this and what's going on but he doesn't reply. Then they all start quarreling because of all the confusion. Jack leaves from there as he thinks Beth is trying to break up with him and that's why she was lying about her death and this was all her acting. After reaching his home he tells everyone that Beth is alive and he saw her in her house. But no one believes him. Next day he goes to check Beth's grave and there he sees that a big hole in her grave as if Beth came out of there. He goes straight to Maury and asks him. He then replies that day when he left after playing chess, Beth came back home after some time. And he himself doesn't know how it happened. Then Jeannie enters the room and she also says the same thing. But it isn't making any sense to Jack so all three again starts arguing about this. Beth comes there and seeing Jack, she gets excited and happy. Then she takes him to her room to talk to him. She asks him why he is behaving like this but he is still scared of her. He asks her that does she remember anything from the last week. She replies that she has no idea. They both starts kissing each other and she tells him that she loves him a lot. Jack also feels normal now and shares his feelings with her. They seems very happy now. Then Jack suggests that they both should go for hiking but then her parents tells him that Beth shouldn't go out in the morning. Jack and Beth then sits besides the pool and they both starts talking. He suddenly noticed that Beth's thigh has some sort of infection. He asks her sarcastically that is she planning to eat him up. By listening to this she forgets what she was saying previously. Jack feels weird about this. After this they spend some quality time together and then he goes back to his home. Next day when he is going to meet Beth at her place, a postman comes to him and gives him many letters and goes from there. Jack has not seen him since he was in school, so he gets surprised on seeing the man after so long time. He then goes to Beth's place and advises Maury that they should tell Beth about her death. But he doesn't want to tell his daughter anything as this will disturb her a lot. Beth enters and asks Jack to take her for hiking but her father tells them not to go out in the sunlight. They don't listen to him and both goes out. They goes to a park and gets intimated there. They spend a very good time together. Beth's face is becoming red and some scars are appearing on her face. When they came back Maury notices the scars and gets mad at Jack as he told him not to out in the sunlight. Jack then again tells him that they should tell Beth about everything but he doesn't agrees to it. They both starts to argue again and he tells him to leave from there and also tells him not to meet Beth again. But he doesn't listen to him. At night he sneaks into Beth's house and takes her out with him. Then they goes to a beach and he plays his guitar and sings for her to impress her and to be a little romantic. But suddenly her mood changes and she becomes irritated. She becomes so angry that she starts yelling and starts breaking things around. After a while she calms down. Jack hugs her and consoles her but again she gets irritated and pushes him. He falls on the ground. He again tries to console her and make her sit in the car. He plays the radio. Suddenly Beth calms down and becomes relaxed by listening to music. He takes her home and after reaching there she forces him to get intimate. He refuses at first, as she is behaving very strange, but she forcefully gets intimate with him. Jack somehow gets out from there by making excuses. Next day Jack meets Erica. She is his childhood friend. His mom has called her here so that he can move on. They start chatting, but then Jack notices that the waiter is behaving in an odd way. Jack then asks Erica that does she notices something, that dead people are coming back to life. She doesn't understand what he is saying. After some time they leave the restaurant and on the way all of a sudden Beth comes in front of Jack's car and he mistakenly hits her with his car and his car got over her. Seeing this he tries to get her out from there. When Beth comes out she seems absolutely fine. It doesn't look like she was almost ran over by a car. She starts talking to him, just then Erica comes there and talks to Jack. Seeing Erica there, Beth gets to know that Jack is hanging around with another girl. He tries to tell her that Erica is his childhood friend and introduces her to Beth. Erica gets confused as Jack's mom has already told her that Beth is dead. Due to this confusion they starts to argue. And Beth asks Jack what he is hiding. He then takes her to her grave and tells her that she died days ago as a snake bit her while hiking, but then she came back to life. This confuses her a lot as this is impossible for dead people to become alive. Jack tells her that now she has changed a lot and she gets aggressive in little things so he can't be with her again. Hearing this she gets so angry and pushes him. She takes his car and leaves from there. Jack comes home and gets shocked after seeing his grandfather there because he died years ago. Kyle wants to shoot him but his parents stops him. They can't understand as well that how can dead people come back to life. Just then the previous owners of their house arrives there. They are also alive now. Seeing the situation is going out of hand, Jack suggests everyone to leave the place. He calls Maury and tells him that his grandfather and the previous owners of the house are alive and are in his house. He goes to meet Maury where he requests Jack to talk to Beth and convince her that she wasn't dead. Jack then tells him that Pearline has done all of this and she is the one who can fix this. He also advises him that they should go to her and talk to her about this. But Maury doesn't agree to it. Hearing this Jack says that if he gives him Pearline's address then only he will talk to Beth. And he agrees to it. Then both of them goes to Beth's room. But on going inside they see Beth has killed a man in front of them. Seeing that all of them gets very scared and Jack refuses to talk to her as she is not in her proper sense. She is breaking everything. Jack takes Pearline's address from Maury and he is about to leave. Just then Beth gets inside the car. So he has to take her with him. He goes to the address and asks Beth to sit in the car. He then goes inside the house but Pearline is not there and her cousin tells him that she has left days ago and he doesn't know anything about these zombies. There Jack comes to know that Maury had harassed her that night and that's why she left. He then comes to his car and sees Maury there. He is here to take Beth with him. When Jack tries to stop him, he hits him with his gun and makes him unconscious. He then takes Beth with him and goes from there. In the morning when Jack wakes up he takes his car and goes back to his house. There he finds another zombie on the couch, who ran away after seeing him. This is all very confusing for him. He finds blood in his house and then he searches for his family. He finds out a heap of burnt dead bodies and thinks that his parents have died. He becomes very disheartened on seeing that. He then decides to go to Beth's place and on reaching there, he sees Maury's car has bloodstains on it. He goes inside the house and finds out that Jeannie has tied Beth to the microwave oven. He also sees that she has cut her hand to feed it to her. He gets very shocked and helps Jeannie. He asks her about Maury. She tells him that Beth has already killed him. Listening this he requests her to leave the place as he will look after Beth now. He comes close to Beth and tries to calm her down as she has become very aggressive right now. He tells her that he will take her with him. She calms down on hearing this and agrees to go with her. She stands up with the microwave on her back. They are about to leave. Just then Kyle comes there and he tries to shoot her. Jack stops him and asks him about their parents. Kyle replies that they are safe now. The dead bodies he saw at their place are zombies whom he had killed. Then he gives him his gun for his safety. He tells her to shoot Beth. Jack then takes her for hiking and tells her that he loves her a lot. Then he points his gun at her and shoots her. Beth falls from the cliff with the microwave at her back. This makes him very sad as he has killed the love of his life with his own hand. Jack then goes to meet his family and seeing them alive makes him very happy. His parents apologize to him as they didn't believe him before. He then meets Erica who is very upset to kill her grandfather with her own hand. Next day he goes to the grave of Maury and Beth and gives them a funeral. He goes there with Erica and after that they both left for dinner together as they are dating now. The movie ends here. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoy it, and also subscribe the channel for upcoming videos.